So, for 6 months, I've been in the land of Thur. This caravan, or trailer, as Americans like to say. And I want to do a summation of all the work I've done. And there's minis behind me, there's terrain as well. And I'm just going to go through all that in this video. And it's not going to be anything flash, of course, because we're, you know, we're on a phone. We're just recording with a phone. Sorry if I've got shaky hands or anything, but I just wanted to go through it all and show off all I did for the year. Well, of 2025, that is. So yeah, this is just a summation and to say, yeah, this is what I did for the 6 months I've been here. Before the 6 months, it all has got jumbled up and messed up, so I have no way of knowing other than to look back at all my posts and stuff. So stuff it. We're going to show off what we've got back here and the terrain, as I've said. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. This might be a long one too, maybe a short one, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's go. And this is the summation of the past 6 months work, minis wise. Not everything, but this is everything that's been fit to be placed here. I'm very happy with everything that got here. Again, some of this stuff has been sort of sitting in drawers and everything, and was, you know, drawers the death of things, so it was time to get them out. Very happy with 2099 Ghost Rider. Was a huge fan of this design of Ghost Rider. Who doesn't like a Ghost Rider? It looks like Terminator. Always a fan of him, and I was very happy with the way this came out. And the hardest thing, of course, was doing the research to find out all the designs on the bike. They change depending on the artist and the time and who's doing it, you know. It's just what you see is what you get kind of with it. So I tried my best to match it all, and there's pictures up here on Instagram and on TikTok and everything, short video for him. Yeah, anyway, all my Necromunda stuff, for which I had a great time just kit bashing and everything. I love this guy. I hate minis that don't come with a character both on foot and mounted, so I decided to just make my own of a character who is in the Ashen Wastes on foot and mounted, and he's in this sort of Ashen Waste camouflage. He is obviously someone who broke off from the Imperium. All his Imperial sigils and things have been taken off his weaponry, and he's someone who's living hard out there. He's got, you know, different weapons and different things, and the paint and stuff is all broken off. And yeah, I love the idea of him being out there just picking things off for people and being like a scavenger or whatever, and being on this big, I don't know what they're actually called off the top of my head, but I love axolotls, so yep, I love it. And then of course my Necromunda sort of kill team guys, who are completely probably not rules fit at all. But anyway, you know, I had fun getting them all together and painting them up. Sorry for the shakes, I'm just, you know, getting them all together, painting them up. Every single one of them is something different, something unique. You know, it's just you know, whoa, sorry, the bit of paper with my backdrop fell. I'll just take that out. Yeah, everything is something different and unique, and they come up great. And of course my Trench Crusade guys, after doing the terrain for last year, I think it was, I had to get some actual Trench Crusade minis done from Saint Denis and Troglodyte. They look great. And then before the end of the year was out, I got my big Ogren, or whatever they call him, or Ogren Warhulk or whatever. Got him, and the I can't remember what the sniper dude, the Fusilier guy. I did really enjoy just kit bashing him, and the big War Hulk, I mean, and doing the big hair, fur, pelt and everything that he's wearing, and yeah, I love that one. Ambots, again, they were sitting in a drawer, and they were going to be for something else, and I just retrofitted them, had a whole bunch of bits and stuff added to them, and yeah, they finally came together really well. Of course, yes, I was very, very happy with the way that excuse me, I was waiting for that cough. Still getting over the Nurgle's rot. The way that the Night Haunter came out, he is just... I'm very, very happy with that. And of course the mini next to him, the cyberpunk dystopian character, that was for a minis comp for the Grimdark Compendium. Very happy with him too. I just didn't take great photos, so next year I really need to look into getting better photo abilities and stuff. And yeah, this guy from Bloodborne, need I say more? Bloodborne's one I love from Software games, so yeah. And then all my vampire stuff, again, this could be for more time or whatever, but I just loved getting them all done. The Ghost, again, taking like the free mini you get from the month and then making something out of it. You know, just loved it. Where are we going down here? Again, taking the free mini for the month and making it into, I think, somewhere else or something else. It's always great. Just this idea of an ashen waste squat on a sort of dirigible somehow flying around, you know, just using some kind of electrical energy or something to fly around, and yeah, I just had to go for it. It's still a she too as well, it's just that she's wearing a mask of her ancestors kind of thing. Yeah, I just loved it. And again, this character for Morkdod, just had a blast. Just so simple. Just had to get the bits and pieces from different kits. Just came out exactly as I wanted it to. Looking great. And we'll go back there. There's a few spacemen and stuff that was worked on. I'm happy with those. Not as grimdark as I'd hoped they'd wanted. Well, I wanted it to be, but that's kind of the point, you know. That big monster from I've forgotten that bloody name of the artist. But yeah, I again love creepy monsters, the blood effect and everything. Just more love it. Kingdom Death, big Lion King, or whatever his name was. King of the White Lions, I believe his name is. Great. It's a not safe for work mini, but I loved it. Just loved painting that up. Now these two minis again were for... I got them from Bitmas, that was it. I was trying to think of the name. Bitmas from Grombat Mole. They're actually from Trent from Miscast. Two of his minis. So I painted them up to look like they're sitting somewhere on in a dungeon or something, and they've got a bit of, you know, whether they're bricks that slam down on people, kind of like from Mario or something. So they've been there a while in this sort of damp environment, and I really like them. They have a lot of character, and I end up putting a bit of texture on them and carving a bit into them as well, just to add a bit more to them. Again, they haven't been photographed. Oh well, I haven't even said that. They haven't been photographed for anything yet and put up online, so you're getting a first look at them. So yeah, there you go. And this dwarf as well. Again, this was the free miniature for, I believe it was December, or maybe even, no, it wasn't December, it was before that. It might have been November, October. But yeah, again, working with using my fire effects. If you do the tutorials here on the channel, if you're interested. But yeah, I'm really happy. The armor has been textured up and everything, then sprayed, so the texture was a bit dulled down. But inspired by, well, actually, I used a sort of Urukai tutorial idea. You know, I looked out there and I went, oh, I really don't want to do him in bright armor. So I looked at some of the old Lord of the Rings stuff and I went, ah, perfect. Uruk-hai, dark armor, bit weather-worn, but not completely, like, not new armor. So yeah, and then putting the heat bloom in, a bit of soot from the black dry brush. Perfect, you know? And yeah, like the white cloth breaks it up, makes him look a bit newer, and then the horns, of course, great. Anything I would do next time, if you focus in, is the red eyes. Just need to clean up a bit there. Yeah, anyway. Moving on. Now this mini here, again from Bitmus. I don't think he's available anymore. And I really thoroughly enjoyed painting this one. And by the look of him, I went, oh, this guy looks like he's straight out of Dark Souls. And I painted him exactly like a character from Dark Souls. I looked up the Wanderer, no, Mercenary from Dark Souls 1, and I painted him up, or her up, whatever this character is, to match. And the only thing I did was the helmet. I followed the Grimdark Compendium's tutorial on brass, except I didn't put the big verdigris wash on at the end. I just did the a brown wash all over at the end, because I didn't want the sort of brightness of a verdigris on there, and the dullness to sort of take away. And I'm very happy with it. This sort of bird helmet warrior, and you see this brass on the sword and everything, and I'm very, very happy. He or she, whatever. The mini's very small though. Like, I don't know. He's very, very small, or she's very small. But again, using it in like a D&D style, Dark Souls style game, where it's just a single warrior with a sword collecting different items and stuff. It's a bare bones character, and I like that. And I like the idea of this extraordinarily huge sort of bell bird helmet. I love it, and I had a blast painting it, and that was basically what I did for New Year's. Is well, New Year's Day. The New Year's Eve day was paint this, because it was so easy, and the base again was just simple. It's the same as the characters over here, because they were originally going to match, but it was just a simple Rhinox hide, dry brush with the two Skaven Blight Dinge, and then Storm Vermin Fur, whichever way round they go, and then mixed in a bit of white to the lighter version of those, dry brush, and then a wash with my my special mix all over the character. The wash was, and a bit of a dab, you know, to get some of it off, and hairdryer blast, and that was it. You know, the character still needs to be sealed with some matte varnish, but I really am happy with that overall look. The most minimal sort of design. All the cloth and everything has just got a base and then stipples of other colours, just to give it sort of that battle damage look, especially around, if you have a look around the back here, you know, the leather is all just dotted bits of leather. The sword sheath is different. All the rest of the stuff is just stippling and dashes and everything. And even on the glove, you can see, oh, it's a lot better on the glove if I zoom out a bit. Yeah, you can see there, all just stipples and dashes, and you know, as the cloak gets down to the ripped part, you do a lighter colour to make it look like it's been torn. And yeah, I had a blast painting, and I really enjoy painting knights and, you know, these sort of lone wandering warriors, and I think that's why I enjoy painting 1490 Doom characters and, you know, singular minis the most. You know. Anyway, moving on. Again, this was the day before, so this was, you know, again, gotta thank Grom Batmole for giving it this minis came from Bitmas as well. It was the first one, and the little familiar skull at the bottom here was part of the set, and I went, oh, I'm going to throw him on the base too, because this was originally on a square base and I wanted him on a round base for nothing more than my own satisfaction. And sorry, move over a bit here because I'm on a seat, a wheelie seat, and my arm's getting sore. Nothing more than my own satisfaction to have him on a round base. And this was also trying out some of the new brass techniques and stuff, and trying out some different techniques with texture, especially using the Dirty Down Rust on the armor a bit differently than what I've usually have. So this guy, when I got him, was already undercoated black. So I just began messing around with the rust stuff, and that is the black paint with typhus corrosion and what did I put over the top of that? What was the other? There's a texture paste I think I had. I can't remember. But a texture sort of. Oh no, it wasn't a texture paste. It was something else. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm rambling a bit, but you know, another texture sort of thing, and then on the top was Dirty Down Rust, and then I again messing around. Dirty Down Rust, I didn't know that if you let it dry, you can simply reactivate it with water. That's why you have to seal the minis, because if they get wet, the Dirty Down Rust will reactivate and run. So if you were to completely cover a piece of, you know, metal sort of surface that you want to look like it's rusted, and then accidentally flick some water on it while you're painting, it will look like there's a droplet of water that has hit that rust and run it off. So I really played around with that, and I made it frothy and bubbly, and threw that on here. I made it all kinds of things. So you get all these weird like tide marks and weathering that you've never seen before. And it was all over this mini. I did it on the cape. I did it on everything other than the little familiar guy. And it's come up with these really interesting textures, especially on the cloak. As you go around, you'll see these little bits of stuff that's clumped up, and that's perfect. On the helmet too, there's, if I can, oh, my showing shadows in the way. Let me just lean him down a bit. I have to be careful because his sword is a bit, it was broken, but you know, I had to keep gluing it back on. Yeah, on the helmet there, you can see there's a bit of a texture on the back there. It's the one mold line I didn't remove too. But yeah, you end up with these really interesting textures everywhere. So yeah, we end up with all these very interesting textures, as you can see on the cloak and everything. And yeah, so it's worth a look into trying different things. As I said in my last video, trying new stuff, quite interesting. And again, using the brass, tarnished brass. But this time I actually used the actual Nylak oxide, watering it down and letting it just run, and then just putting it on neat in places just to get a different look. Very, very nice. You know, on the keys and everything. He's got a staff in here or something, so yeah, I gave that a shot too. But yeah, very happy with him. Another, you know, mini from Bitmas that I was very happy with. And yep, Sisters of Battle. Later, these, what do they call them? The Priory of the Radiant Blade, or the Sisters of Radiant Blade, I called them. And yeah, very proud of that yellow glow. That is the Radiant Blade itself, and just the lightning on this lady. So happy with it. So happy with it. They were so, and of course the bases, all the heat bloom on the bases and everything. Oh god, it came out so well. Just so happy with them all. But yep, and then, you know, my sort of kill team retinue here for my what is he? Yep, Inquisitor. I couldn't think of the bloody word. Very happy with them as well. All the different ones. Just having something, a whole bunch of different, you know, in different designs and everything. I loved it. just had a great time painting them, and him especially. Let's pull him out here. Just that, the skull being obviously from something or someone, and that he's kept it, and he keeps vicious things, viscera on him, to show that he's not somebody to be played around with. I just love it, and I'm really happy with the way that focus came together. And also bring my other guy forward here, and we have our the sword. I broke the bloody sword. Bugger it. Yes, the first of the redback group, or whatever I'm going to call them, the space arachnids, or whatever we're going to go with here. But the design of these sort of laser or shot heat bloom, really happy with this. It was just an effect that I was so happy with. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing just a couple of more of these. As I said, I'm not a huge, I've said in another video I should say, not a huge fan of doing an entire army. So this guy was just a sort of set the mood for these guys. Though I am thinking about redoing just the base with the similar to this one, with the orange texture paste, just so I don't have to try to recreate whatever color this is, just so it's a little bit more unified, easier to find, because creating your own unique colors and then having to recreate them has caused me problems in the past. And again, the other vehicle, again for the space stuff, was very happy to get that done. And and overall, everyone's gonna say, what was your favorite mini? I don't have a favorite mini as such, but I do have to say I have one that is this sort of accomplishment mini that I set for myself, that was one of my goals to get done, which of course was Kato Ezekiah, because he was a mini I had since he came out, and I kept putting him off, focus, and was so hesitant to work on him because I did like his book. It wasn't a great book, the first one, but I do need to listen to the second, or read the second one. Haven't got around to it yet. Focus. Yeah. And I had such a blast, and all the techniques I'd learnt and everything was just, this guy is a summation of it. The dirt, the verdigris design, the texture, the blade hilt here having all the damage and everything. I had a great time painting him, and he's probably my big accomplishment for the year, was getting him done, and having, again, the courage, I'm getting the wobbles, and the courage to get him done. But this isn't all I've done for the year. So give me 1 second, and we've got the last thing to show off. And finally, of course, we have the terrain project. The one thing that took forever. Well, it didn't take forever, but I had a blast doing, and yes, I would love to do more. The next thing is to probably do the next part of it, which was to do a small castle, or as I said, like a sort of priory meets refinery kind of thing. The what's it called? Pump jack is currently being painted with that oil sort of tanker that's with it, and yeah, we're going to work on that next. It'll have a bit of the red dust sort of effect around the bottom of it. I don't know if I'll go fully with the idea that's also in the sort of desert, but the Morkdord sort of environment does have that red sort of look about it in a lot of the art, in a lot of the artwork. So I might carry that through. Plus, I kind of like it, and yeah, I was so happy with the way this all came out. So much so that I'm going to have to look for more of these skulls next year and just hoard the shit out of them. or if I can find them all online. Because they were like $8 a bag, I think. I might need to, like, I don't know, invest in a few of them just to be able to make more of this stuff. And you know, once again, very happy with everything that came out of this. So that's all the completed stuff for 2025, and now we're in 2026. I'm probably going to pack all those minis away and find a new home for them. And that terrain as well. Some of the minis I'm probably going to sell, or not the 3D printed ones, because I don't have the right to sell them. That is definitely something that is a legal thing that I don't want to touch. But if you are interested in seeing me sell some of these minis, they'll just be sold as sort of tabletop ready minis. I'll need to seal them, of course, and get them all hunky-dory to be touched and so on. But yeah, they're probably going to be sold somewhere because I don't have the space to keep them. It's just one of those things. I just don't. And they need to find new homes, I think. I like to paint. I don't really play that much. And yeah, it's just how it is. It's what I enjoy to do. It's what gives me zen. It's what gives me peace. So I don't know where I'm going to sell them yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with them at the moment. I know Etsy can do stuff like that, but I don't know what they're going on with Etsy at the moment. I haven't heard much. I've heard that they've been having trouble lately. The terrain itself as well. Excuse me. As soon as I could find somewhere, I can get more of those skulls, or get a 3D printer going so I can replicate those skulls. I'll probably start selling terrain that I could make. And if anybody would be interested in getting some of it, I'll make it up for you. They're actually sealed with a matte sealant, so they could be sold now. You know, just the only thing will be shipping and the cost. You know, but at the moment, you know, it's a new year. I've got new stuff I want to do. As I've said, I'm probably going to start on my next terrain project. I've already got the pump jack and everything in the works, but I've got bases because I couldn't help myself. So the bases for this broken abbey or castle refinery thing are already in the work. They're already ready to go. They've been scored to be glued stuff onto and everything. So that video is going to be worked on. It's going to be hot later in the week, but Mum and Dad have been kind enough to give me a small table, or not a small table, but give me a table inside to work, so I'll be in and out between there and here depending on the weather. Because sadly this caravan or trailer, if you're watching this in America, is, you can see by the roof back there, I've said it a few times, Thur, or the land of Thur as I like to call this, isn't insulated or anything against cold or heat. Cold doesn't bother me. I'll put clothes on, whatever. But in the heat, it's too hot in here. I almost passed out staying out here in, like, what, 28 degrees here, which is in the 80s somewhere, I think, in Freedom thing. Another thing too about this terrain, I should say, is I'll have to invest in some skulls, so more skulls. More skulls, but not as many this time around. Just a few. I don't even look to see how many I had left, because I've forgotten how many I had left after the first one. The big ones I know, there's a few, but the smaller ones I'm talking about. But yeah, we'll get out there and get those done. Miniature painting wise, I'll probably just do them here, there and everywhere. So I think the channel itself, a lot of people kind of like me building terrain more, and I enjoy building terrain more. I enjoy doing that the most, I think. I love miniatures, of course. I love kit bashing, but building terrain for sort of, well, medieval terrain, natural terrain, and sort of like natural, I mean like world terrain, like the mountains and cliffs and things like that. And then I want to do some cyberpunk, steampunk, necromunda terrain, definitely. I want to do it. I so want to do it. It's just space is one thing, and then cost, of course. I'm trying to be a good boy at the moment and save up me dollary dues, and mental health stuff is very important. Of course, it's the main reason why I do this. And yeah, so this is, in real true summation, it was a very tough 2025. It was a very tough year for me, and as I said in the last video, I really couldn't have gone it through any of it without a few people. Even though my mum and dad can be very tough on me, I couldn't get through it without them. Couldn't get through it without my brothers or their wives. They were very kind to me. My nieces and nephews always light up when they see me and give me a cuddle. So yep, I'm finally getting some mental health support. It's been 6 months, so the entire time I've been here, I've been given no mental health support because truthfully, we'll just say truthfully, the original counsellor I was seeing was through I'm unemployed, so benefits, and they pulled the funding, and I was switched to another place, and I'm going to see a new counsellor, so I have to start again. So that's how it is. And you know, starting with a new person is hard. I've only spoken to her for about, what was it, half an hour on the phone, just to introduce myself, and then we're hit Christmas holidays. So hopefully I can talk to her and get myself back on a right track. But you know, again, it was getting diagnosed with ADD and then losing that support. I've had no real aftercare, and you can see in the videos, if you watch them from would have been July, August, you can see me having lots of motivation to get this place cleaned up and and then you see that motivation. Yeah. But again, I have to thank another group of people over on TikTok who I've been talking to, not only for miniature people, but like a lot of Aussie miniature people who've been reaching out, and we've made a few groups, but there's also a group of Discord people who have been very kind to me and supportive of my mental health. Sorry, there's something. This is Australia, there's always something crawling around. Excuse me. Very supportive of my mental health and encouraging me to get things done, even though there isn't, you know, much support here. So they've been a huge help. So I have to give a shout out to well, I'm not going to say the names because it's their actual names. I'm not going to throw them out in Front Street on the internet, but they know who they are if they're watching this video. Yeah, it's just been a really hard year. So yeah, the miniature sort of painting may still go on. It's just going to be aside, because I do have a couple of like the lizard men who need to be finished, and I'd like to sell them, or I don't know, maybe even give them away as a prize or something, I don't know, but they need to be finished because they're a third of the way done, I guess. The whole point of this is to not abandon projects. So yeah, try my best to probably take them inside and paint them of an evening while I'm working on terrain throughout the day. And if it's too hot during the day to work on terrain, probably paint them and get them done. Because the best thing about hot days is paint dries fast. And yeah, we've got a few hot days coming up. Other than that, you know, I really have to again thank everybody. The hitting 1,000 followers is amazing. Oh, one thing I do want to talk about too is that I have upgraded my data on my phone to be able to go live. Now, I probably will, or stream, I should say. Probably will be doing that on TikTok. I know I shouldn't say the name on here, but oh well. Because there is an audience over there and everything. There's people I can do that with in a miniature group and so on. So I probably will be doing it over there. So if you don't follow me over there, please do. Once we sort of hit the amount of watch hours and stuff on here that I can do that on YouTube, I might do it on here more, because it's a little bit more lenient with things you can say and can't say. For doing it on Twitch or something as well, if I need a computer for doing that, I don't have a computer at the moment. I'm just using my phone. I've got two priorities, sort of, with cash-wise this year, and one is, of course, three, excuse me. One we're not discussing, and then two is getting my car all looked at hunky-dory, and then getting some kind of PC to be able to stream directly with. Yeah. But you know, I'm being really honest and everything. I was trying to even try to date and stuff like that, and I've decided to stop doing that entirely. It's just too hard. Every time I mentioned, mental health and being unemployed, technically, it was just too difficult, and you just get the ghost. So it was just too much of a detriment on my mental health. So we're just going to do minis and terrain and stuff, and focus on getting my mental health better to do more cool shit on here for you guys and gals. There's a few gals I think in here, so thank you for watching. Thank you for coming out and looking at this. But yeah, thanks very much for taking the time out of your days. Happy New Year. Be safe. Make good decisions. Drink water. Have snacks. Don't forget to eat. Wear clean undies. If you're wearing undies at all. You never know. You never know. But yeah. I hope you have a great year. And I'm hoping for myself to have a good year as well. And you know what? I'll see you around the bend. Cheers.